Hi everyone, it's Christmas Eve. So I thought I'd do a quick introduction to today's watch along. We haven't done a watch along for ages, and it's a Wonderful Life. Um, I don't really want to say very much about the film because if you've seen it, you already know how amazing it is. If you haven't seen it and you're about to watch it for the first time, you've probably seen some of the key moments from it because they've been used over the last 75 years. You can't have missed it. But I don't really want to spoil the excitement and the magic. Just watch it and enjoy it, hopefully. So it's on at 2 o'clock on Channel 4. So line up your TV. You can have, I'm just going to do a couple of minutes here. So you'll have 5 minutes to go and sort out a nice cup of mulled wine or hot chocolate or whatever you want to consume for Christmas. So It's a Wonderful Life from 1946. It comes across as a Christmas tradition, but I was reading yesterday. It's only actually been really a tradition for about 35 years, maybe 40 years, since it started being shown on the television. It wasn't really a Christmas classic. It did all right at the box office. It was nominated for some Oscars because it's a really well made film. Frank Capra's a brilliant director, and Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed and all the rest of the cast are amazing. So it was a great film, and I think it was recognised as being good at the time, but not as being a Christmas classic. So it's only in more recent years that it's become the staple of Christmas Eve for a lot of people. Um, it's effectively a version of A Christmas Carol. It's a film about what might be different if the world were a different place, if a person had done things differently. So, there's a lot of it that's very recognisable. Jimmy Stewart is outstanding. The only downside for me is that he makes a terrible teenager. Really bad that they bothered to make him a teenager. Just have him older all through the story. That would have been better. But yeah, it's fantastic. Very modern film. I feel like. I remember the first time I watched this feeling a little bit like the first time I watched Citizen Kane and not quite understanding how it could be a film from 1946. It feels like it's far more modern. There's a lot of camera trickery and amazing shots that are the sort of things that you see in more modern films, and it feels like they kind of feel out of place in a film from 1946, but all the better for it. It makes it quite magical. Anyway, so that's on very shortly, and there will be advert breaks because it's on Channel 4. So use those to get more mince pies and crisps and all that malarkey. But the reason that I was doing this really is because obviously we've had to close down the cinema again. I cancelled all of the Christmas screenings because it was starting to feel like a bit like March last year. We couldn't really ensure that people could be socially distanced and safe enough, and with the variant on the rise across the UK, it felt like it wasn't really ideal to get people into a small room for the sake of watching old Christmas films. Much as they're wonderful, it's not worth anyone getting ill over. So I cancelled the Christmas screenings. I had loads of emails from people saying they were absolutely gutted that they couldn't watch It's a Wonderful Life this year. It's on the TV, so I thought we'd all watch it together, have a nice Christmassy afternoon. I'd like to say some thank yous to some people quickly because it's been a very tough couple of years for independent cinemas. It's been tough for us. And when we reopened again in August, the response from you guys out there was phenomenal, and it's really helped to keep things ticking over that people are so keen to get back into the cinema in Penarth. So thank you. If you've been to see any of our screenings in the last couple of months, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you haven't been because you don't feel comfortable with it yet, I thank you as well because you're still supporting us on social media and sharing things. So thank you all. The other group of people that I'd like to thank are our volunteers. We've got an incredible bunch of people who come to do ushering and front of house for us. Some of them have been with us since the start, 4.5, 5 years ago. Some are newer. You're all wonderful. Wouldn't be able to do it without you. I know it sounds trite, but I wouldn't, because we need people on the door, and we need people to sit in the screenings. I can't sit in and watch every film, so it's wonderful that people come along and do that for me. So thank you, volunteers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a very big special thank you to John, who if you've been to the cinema at the Pier, you probably recognise John. He's the guy with the beard who is generally on the front of house, on the front desk. John is there for pretty much every screening we do. He's an absolute marvel. He loves Penarth Pier Pavilion Cinema, and I honestly totally wouldn't be able to do it without John, because even if we have a screening like at Halloween where no one wants to volunteer for horror films, John will be there. John will be there for every screening. John will be there cleaning up afterwards. John will be there half an hour before I get there, setting everything up. He is phenomenal. So he won't be watching this because he's not on social media, but everyone have a raise a glass to John when you have a little toast at the end of It's a Wonderful Life. Let's raise a glass to John. Thank you, everybody. I've been going on for far too long, and it's Christmas. So let's watch It's a Wonderful Life. Go and get your mulled wine, your hot chocolate, whatever you're having. Sit down, watch It's a Wonderful Life with us, and I hope you will have an amazing Christmas. I'm going to be back in the week in between doing some more recommendations and stuff. But yeah, hope you have a lovely Christmas, and we'll hopefully see you very soon. Merry Christmas!